Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Rue on November the 6th, 2024, and we are coming to you tonight from the RueTV studios, awaiting my special guest for the post-election special. I wanted to go out tonight to Philadelphia initially to film some stuff at the NXT taping, but just not in the mood, man. Just not in the mood after the events of what happened. Let me let my guest in the room and we'll see if he's all right. Let's see. See if my guest is all right here. My guest has a lot to say tonight. Folks at home, he is back on the attack. And that is one Mr. Michael Lane. Mr. Lane, sir. Back on the show. Mr. Lane, how are you doing today? Let me test your microphone. We're live on the air right now, so I live to tape, so I see if your levels are all right. Let me see if those levels.
Well, my name is Mr. Lane, and I got a lot off my chest that I want to say tonight.
Well, that's what, before you got on the show, I saw you in the waiting room and I said, my guest tonight, y'all know him, RueTV legend, Delcy icon, and he's got a lot off to get off his chest as it pertains to this debacle we've all been dealing with the election. For those of you living under a rock, the election between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump happened yesterday, and very surprised. The most surprising thing to me, and both things were surprising, the outcome and the election itself. The most surprising thing to me was the quickness of the end game of it, because in recent years it was always long and drawn out, but this was pretty decisive. And our 47th president of the United States is going to be once again uh, host of The Apprentice, Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, first off, man, it was shocking and not surprising at the same time. But
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, it was going to boil down to the swing states. Basically, we're
Mhm.
talking about North Carolina, we're talking about Pennsylvania, we're talking about Michigan, we're talking about Wisconsin, the states that were basically in play for the previous election in 2020. And those were like basically the same states that were in play in this election. And from what I saw, it looked like, from what we discovered, he basically won every swing state. From the looks of it, he won just about every swing state that there was available. That's what happened.
Why do you
Now,
yeah, yeah.
go ahead,
Keep
go ahead, because I'll just talk a little bit more. Nothing against the host, but I just gotta
no,
get off my chest
get a
because
little get a little bit more off your chest, Mr. Lane, before
absolutely,
I have some questions for you that I'm very interested in. But get the generic feelings
yes.
of this off your chest
Yeah,
first.
because I was surprised, but yet not surprised at the same time, because it boiled down to the swing states, like I was saying. Um, Obviously, you had Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, which I think was an important one. North Carolina, Georgia, um, Arizona, Nevada. Those were like
Yeah,
the swing states that were in play for this upcoming election.
right.
It was going to depend who was going to win those swing states. And unfortunately, obviously, Mr. Trump won, beat Kamala Harris. But then here's the perception that I get with our vice president and the unfortunate lady that lost. Some people want to compare her name or mispronounce her name. I don't know if it's by on purpose or not. But you and I that we've watched wrestling a long time. Um,
Correct.
point I want to say is it's not Kamala Harris. It's
No,
not Kamala because we already know a wrestling character name by the name of Kamala.
yeah,
And he was known as the Ugandan Giant, Kamala,
absolutely.
and he passed
Rest in
away
peace. Rest in
for
peace.
he passed away 4 years ago, back in 2020. His name was Ed Harris. That was his real name.
Yeah,
but
I think
he
I
played
think
his
that
name.
was yeah, he was a great competitor.
Yes.
Very I should note very underpaid by Vince McMahon and
Hmm.
he had a sad ending. He had diabetes and I think he
Yes.
lost his legs and everything, but
Correct.
he was a good man. Kamala. And that's another ironic thing. It's like not only is his first name Kamala, but his last name's Harris. So that was but you don't pronounce her name Kamala, clearly.
No.
She's not the
No.
Ugandan. She's no Ugandan giant.
No.
She is Kamala Harris. And to my shock, I really did think she was going to win.
Right.
But the fact that Trump got the support that he did, I guess I should say it didn't shock me because his base is but what really shocked me is the base grew. And I'm wondering why in those swing states and why in those undecided voters and why in um, those last minute deciders did they
Right.
go with this guy? And I kind of have a hunch as to why. I'd like to get your opinion on it because really this is like it seems like people checked their moral values at the door before they got
Right.
into the voting booth and said, I'm voting with my wallet and I want to save a buck on a loaf of bread and a carton of eggs. And that's all I care about in life is that. I don't care that this guy is a sex offender and a felon and was impeached and has all
Right.
these charges against him and
Twice.
a narcissist, sociopath, everything, literally everything. All I care about is he's a businessman, and I want a businessman to give me a cheaper price on milk.
Well,
Did I hit the nail on the head?
you nailed it, man. I mean, you nailed all the points, but I would see you have to think long term as well with the country as well. We both witnessed the damage that he did, even when he was a 4 year president from 16 to 20. There was a
Yeah,
lot of events that he went through
yeah.
in between 2016 and 2020.
Hmm.
That being said, I'm trying. We only saw the tip of the iceberg of what he did in that 4 years. Now,
Right.
as it looks right now, um, with the other races, obviously the Senate is going to be in. It's going to be like 2016 all over again, where the GOP, the Grand Old Party slash Republicans, are going to have like all the power in Washington.
Yeah.
Let's see how long that lasts. Let's see how long that lasts in 2026, so to speak, because I want to see how that will play out in because that's going to be the midterms.
Hmm.
I want to see if Trump is really worth it to these people because I see when I drive like basically in New Jersey, I see a lot of Trump signs. It's no different than I seen it in 16,
Yeah.
nor is it the same. It's the same narrative that I
I
seen in 20
just
and I've
sent
seen
it.
it in
Yeah.
24. I see
Just
it all like in the local streets there, buddy. I
I
mean,
s-
it's
yeah.
unbelievable, unbelievable.
I just sent a message to my good friend and former RueTV guest Hannah Fearman right before the show, and I said, "What is it like in Indiana?" I'm curious because I know Trump took Indiana, and I'm like, and I explained to her, I explained to Hannah, how he is here. Uh, it's like there he's worshipped. It's like I feel like sometimes we're living in West Virginia where it's like, those southern states that are just so obsessive about people
Right,
like him. And it's like
right.
we're in New Jersey. Like what happened? I don't understand the obsession with him. Now, Mr. Lane,
Yes,
like a lot of these people, and I'm gonna be politically correct because we're broadcasting live, so I don't want to talk negatively and call and name call anything
right,
to the type of demographic that this person draws. But 9 times out of 10, these are kind of rough around the edges white men. And that
right,
type demographic generally, I mean, they might not be the most favorable characters. A lot of times they've got issues. A lot of times I've said this to Justin and myself. I think they see a lot of themselves in him. Like you say, like, well, how could you vote for somebody like that? Well, I think Donald Trump is a microcosm of these people. I think Donald Trump is a
right,
representation of these people. Like a lot of these people, maybe they're not as vocal as Donald Trump. Maybe they're not as forthright with it. Some of them are. but a lot of them aren't.
Right.
But I think a lot of them see themselves in Donald Trump. And it's a lot more people than you think. And it's a lot because I thought it was split 50-50. And I was like, it's 50-50. If anything, the swing
Right.
is going to go to Kamala Harris. I was dead wrong. There's more people like that walk among us. And you, as an African American man, Mr. Lane,
Right.
how do you feel about this? Because, like I just said, I just pigeonhole these people. They're older. I mean, some of them are our age. Some of them are our age. That he did
Right.
well with the younger voters, younger than us and our age.
Right.
How do you feel as an African American young man that that this is? I mean, do you feel misrepresented? Like do you feel like he's going to represent you and help you and your life?
No, I not me as a person, no.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. But I was doing some homework this morning where he did win like the minority vote to a degree because I think it was basically uh Hispanics. So,
I
yeah,
did see. Yeah,
the Hispanic votes. I think he won that vote, I believe, like
that's mind-boggling.
by
That
like a
is
2-1 margin, I
that
think it
is
was.
that is absolutely mind-boggling. Then I was listening to a radio show today, and they
Yes,
said the Hispanic Latino vote was up like, I don't know, 20% from the last time
yes.
he ran. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what the? And then they said the reason, and it's exactly the same reason as
Right.
everybody else, the economy and the price of things.
And he wanted to, well, I've heard that the economy was like one of the top priority issues. Obviously that's why they went team Trump, so to speak. And
Yeah.
also he also had the border patrol. See, I
Hmm.
we saw this same narrative in 16.
Right.
Okay, see what he did say, and some people are going to probably twist it up and use conspiracy theories because I personally think number one, conspiracy theories won the election to begin with because people bought in. I'll get to that in a minute, but back to the Latino vote. Basically, it was like I believe like 60 something percent. It was like 63 or 65% of the vote.
Yeah.
I think he got that majority of the vote. Now
Hmm.
um, I look at some of these vote numbers, and I looked at them, and the turnout I think was horrible. The turnout of the overall for the election was not good because I feel less people showed up to vote. I'll admit I voted early. I
Yeah.
voted like in like mid October. I
Good.
voted by mail. I'll admit that. Okay, my vote is accounted for, but having this conversation basically is I feel a lot of the voters did not show up. And I ask, a few people, even at my work, I'm asking, hey, are you voting? Are you voting? And then some say that they were. I'll admit, I even wore my voting sticker. I even posted on social media that I wanted to just tell the world, hey, I voted. Did you
Right.
vote?
Hmm.
Because I never asked them specifically who you voted for. I'm just asking, did you vote? Because the mindset that I hear from people, probably my race, is that, oh, my vote doesn't count, yada yada yada. My vote doesn't get. I vote because I want to vote. I
Yeah.
want to vote for myself. And
Hmm.
if things don't go your way, if things are taken away from you, that should add fuel to your fire for you to vote. But if
Right.
it doesn't, if it happens to you and you didn't vote, basically you got no say. Basically, I'm sorry to say that, but you
Yeah.
have no say
You
when
have
it
no
comes to
right
that
to
stuff.
have no right to
No right to
complain.
complain, exactly. Because and then what was I going to say? What was my thinking? That basically I was going to say, yeah, the three things. It was economy, number one. A lot of people want like deportation. They want the borders to close. And
Hmm.
then I forget the third one. It might have been something something. I forget the third one,
Well,
but those are the two.
it may have
Go
been
ahead.
those were the two, and the third hot button issue, which really shouldn't be a hot button issue. You should just let people be. And I know it's foreign to older generation people, and even to our age. I mean, we're the age we're at.
Yes.
We didn't grow up with people like this, but transgender people, and it
Yes.
seems as though people in the Trump camp have a legitimate beef and a legitimate grudge and a legitimate axe to grind with these people. and I don't
Right.
understand. I really don't understand it. Um, I
I don't
don't
know. I don't know
understand the hate.
either.
I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand that at all. I
Right.
mean, I kind of do because they're the kind of people who see people who are different from them and
Right.
look down upon them and shun them. And that's just personality type thing. But I mean, that's a big talking point. Do you think that played a factor, Mr. Lane?
A little bit. I would say so. I think a lot of people wanted to bring up the abortion issue because
That too, yeah, that's
I
probably
wanted
up
to bring
that's up
that up
there.
also
Yeah.
because this is also the first election since the trademark Supreme Court case was
Hmm.
overturned in 2022, which I think is very important to discuss.
Yeah.
The Roe v. Wade overturned back in
Right.
2022. You had a
Hmm.
lot of women upset over this too,
Yep.
where you had women that had to go to different states just to get an abortion. See, and that's an issue too, whether people will admit it or not. Now, I know with the economy, I have yet to see a plan that Donald Trump's going to present to the economy. If I've seen it, where's it at? Because I'm looking, I'm trying to find
I
what's he going to do? What is he going to
I
do?
see no plan. I see no direct plan. I see no details.
Right,
He talks in generalities. And the biggest
right.
generality that was very scary to me was when he said that the biggest threat to our country was not terrorism, was not illegal immigration, and it was from within our country. He said the enemy is from within. And he did not define who they are. Are they anyone who is against him? Are they minorities? Are they people who are just Democrats? Are they people who I don't know, radical left. I don't know, whatever you define that as. But what does he think he's going to do about that to fix our country? Does he not understand that not everybody thinks like him? Does he not? Well, of course he doesn't like it because he's a narcissistic sociopath,
Right,
um, and doesn't care.
right.
But I think that's scary. And the scarier part, and I did talk to another former RueTV guest today in a DM, my friend Glenn Humplick, and Glenn brought up the point that he has nothing to lose right now, Mr. Lane. He has 4 years, and
Right.
he can't get elected again. This was the last 4 years, so he can do literally whatever he wants. I think they have the Senate or whatever it is, Senate or the House, the Senate, right? The Senate is Republican.
Yeah, yeah, the Senate, well, yeah, they got like 51 seats. So they got
Yeah,
control of the Senate, and
yeah.
I believe they're
So
very close. They're gonna probably get control of
it's
the
very
House.
sc
We don't know yet.
it's very scary for people that fall into that category of like that could be easily their lives could be damaged by this person. And I feel for them. Anybody watching this that falls into that category, I feel for you. And I don't know. I don't know who the enemy. Maybe I'm the enemy from within. I kind of like it. I sound like a heel. Good. I want to be the enemy from within Donald Trump. If I'm an enemy to anybody, I want to be the enemy to Donald Trump. I don't want to be your friend. But anyway, it's really a scary time. I know a lot of people were upset. I try to
Right,
console a lot of people who are my friends, who are very scared. But don't be scared. Stand up for yourself. I mean, it's easier
right,
said for me, but I still believe in those sentiments. Don't be scared. Stand up for yourself and fight, and don't let up the fight because that's what they want. They want you to back down. They want you to
right,
cower. They want you to submit. They want you to blend into what their version is of America. Don't keep fighting.
right,
Keep being yourself and keep pushing forward.
right.
And the 4 years will go by like that, and we'll have to worry about this piece of shit anymore.
Yeah, because it's gonna be like a quote unquote shit slash crap show. Because
Yeah.
I see because the point is I already see right through him. I know what unfortunately it's gonna do what he's going to do. And
Yeah.
I was just gonna tell myself mentally, you know, prepare for hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And
Yeah.
that's my personal mindset right now
Yeah.
because it was just such a awful situation. It was a disgraceful situation. I mean, and I did some homework on some of these elections. Basically, the turnout obviously this year was not a lot compared to like 2020 or even 2008 technically. Because I
Hmm.
wanted to know, you probably wanted to know, I wanted to know
Yeah.
how many people were going to vote in this election. That
Yes.
was
Yes.
that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to ask people straight up, like I said at my work, did you vote? And I
It's
did, yeah, and I did run into a lady when I was shopping at, I think it's ShopRite last night. Um, and I saw that she had a voting sticker on. I asked her, politely, you did vote, and I told her I did too.
hmm
And that's really all I wanted to hear at that point, because I'm
yeah.
not telling people, oh, who do I want to vote for?
Yeah,
Who
you
do I
can't
who do
because then
I'm
they'll just do the opposite or not vote at all.
Yeah, and I'm not doing that. I I mean, except a few close people that I've worked with, I did tell them who I voted for,
Yeah, I
but
don't know. It's
but in
just
public, no.
yeah, it's just yeah, you just have to throw it out there and hope
Right.
that people have a sense about them. I think the internet played a very, very more than ever this year, a very
Yes.
big impact in this election,
Yes,
whether it be the
obviously.
spreading of lies of
Hmm.
misinformation on TikTok,
Yes.
whether it
Yes.
be the normalization of pieces of shit by being platformed on Joe Rogan's podcast.
And AI, well, the AI, artificial intelligence, this is why I don't want to touch it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I mean, that played a vital part. I'll give you a good example of this.
yeah.
And obviously, one of the most popular people on in the world, Miss Taylor Swift, for example.
Hmm.
They see, I believe Trump posted on his Truth Social, because he ain't on Twitter.
No,
Um, it's his own like social media page, basically. He
yeah,
posted an AI image, I believe, of Swifties for Trump or something. This was like his own version of artificial intelligence.
yeah.
See, what happened was, I believe conspiracy theories basically won the election for Trump, and
Hmm. Hmm.
that's how I see it
Oh yeah,
personally.
oh yeah.
A
People are
good
marks.
example, a good example of this. Let's rewind back to the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Now, I thought Kamala Harris killed it during the debate. I don't care what anybody says. Donald Trump looked tired. He looked defeated.
He looked
He looked
tired.
he,
He looked tired even as in his acceptance speech
that's what I'm
last
trying to
night.
say.
He looked like
He-
he was about to go to sleep. He's become
yes.
sleepy. He's become Sleepy Joe. He's become
Yeah.
Sleepy Donald, pushing 80.
Sleepy Donnie, yes. But
Yeah.
but anyway, point I'm trying to stress is he said something about a post that was basically started on Facebook, because I looked into the story. There was a story that I saw about that conspiracy theory with the it was in Ohio. It was in, I think, Springfield, Ohio, obviously.
The eating of the pets.
He quote unquote had migrants eating dogs and cats, quote unquote. And that is one of the worst, but most likely effective conspiracy theories I ever heard. And
Yeah.
and, and
Yeah.
basically, it wasn't just that. I'm pretty sure there were other conspiracy theories, obviously, that we were
There's
talking.
plenty of conspiracy theories.
Yes,
People are gullible. They see them on TikTok. They believe
yes,
there's so many news sources now, and I use the word sources
yes,
very loosely,
yes,
and it's very sad. That whole Joe Rogan, Alex Jones world,
yes,
and it just I really feel sorry for people who believe that, because if you 100% buy into that shit, your life is like, can you imagine, Mr. Lane, if you thought that like truly what they believe is like people on the left and Democrats are like the devil and we're demons. We're like demon rats or something. That's
right,
what I've heard it called once. And
right,
it's like Donald Trump is being anointed by God to like save us from people like me who are trying to tear and ruin the fabric of America. Like, can you
yes,
imagine if you actually bought into that, which is a lot of people? Like, dude, grow up. Like I got, you know
yeah,
what? There's so many people who buy into it. It's like, damn, how many 72? I don't know, last I looked, it was like 72, 73 million people voted for Donald Trump.
yes,
I don't know, man. This is the time to start a new wrestling company. I mean, we got some marks on our hands. Like we could fill some arenas. We could really sell. We could sell them like old school. We could kayfabe the shit out of these marks. They're they're
Yeah.
they're dumb. They are dumb, Mr. Lane.
Yeah,
They
well,
are dumb.
it's
And I'm sorry if
yes.
you're listening. If you're listening to this and you're a Republican, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know at this point. It's like you at this point you probably should have known by now. I mean, unless you are just voting because your priorities in life is, bread, milk, and eggs rather than people's well-being and people's rights. Um,
Yes.
I can't control that. You can't control that. I can't control how people think. I can't control how people are wired. Everybody's different. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yep.
unfortunate. This is the last thing I'll say, and I'll throw it back to you. It's just unfortunate that the majority, more than half, which I thought was half, but now it's more than half of the country, um, is wired the way they are.
Yep.
And we just got to deal with it. People stink, man. People are just shitty.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Sorry, Mr. Lane, mate, but it's like and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you over these past few months because you've been sharing a lot of
Yes, I have.
not misinformation. Like we talk about the conspiracy theories and misinformation.
Right.
You've been sharing a lot of factual information on social media, and
Right.
I thank you for that.
Well, well, you're very welcome because I'm just trying to post the truth. I'm just trying to post the straight up truth here because the game plan that I've learned from Donald Trump is very simply this. He's gonna kiss up the corporations, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and is gonna, treat the workers like garbage. I already know this.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this coming 500 miles away, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's gonna make the corporations richer. I already know that that's basically his economy. What I just said,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I've been saying all along.
Yeah.
Watch what he does, he had his chance. See, 2016, as far as I'm concerned, the GOP had their time. They were on cloud nine. They had control of everything, and then basically over time, it fell apart. It did fall apart over time, and I think it's going to happen in 2026. Personally, I think
Yeah.
it will. It will. And I'm going to see. I will pay close attention to what he does. How does he handle himself as the potential president? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Harris earlier this evening conceded. I didn't see her speech, but I know for a fact I saw reports that she was going to originally concede around like I think like 6 o'clock or something this evening. I
Yeah.
think she ended up doing it like an hour earlier or something like that.
Right.
That's what I've heard. But anyway, as far as his presidency, it's to me it's a joke to me. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel as a 43-year-old man.
It is a joke,
Yes,
and we're harping on Donald Trump,
yes,
and rightfully so. But me personally, I don't care for his president,
no,
JD Vance, and
no,
I will proudly speak out against both of them. And if you're a
yeah,
viewer of RueTV, and I know I've had a few over the years who just kind of like, I don't know, they're turned off because they know I don't swing to the right. Uh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope you can still be entertained by our videos, especially Mr. Lane videos, but this is me giving my opinion and you have your opinion and I can respect it. But here's the problem, Mr. Lane. When you're,
yes,
yeah, and I've heard that I saw this meme going around today, you can disagree on politics, but it takes the bigger man to still be respectful and friendly with someone. You don't have to cut them out of your life, and you don't have to cut them out of your life. But
no,
the difference in this situation, Mr. Lane, is it's not just politics. It's very similar to the '60s when there was a civil rights movement. I know you're very familiar
yes,
with that too.
yes,
There are a lot of issues in this current climate that we're in that are not just politics, that are not just economy driven. There's other issues that are like rights issues and like we're talking about the thing about women and their bodily rights to their own body and talking about
yes,
LGBTQ people and
yes,
these are things like you might I can't force people to care about, but the reality is these are beyond politics. These affect people's well-being, not just their pocketbooks. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's why that's where people get hurt, take it personal. It's not just because if you remember a few years ago when it was like George Bush, yeah,
Yes.
when Obama was in, prior to that, it was Clinton, it was still, people disagreed, they had arguments, but it wasn't like this. Now you've got
Wow.
issues that are dividing families, dividing friends because they are
Yes.
affecting people's well-beings and their ability to live freely. I just got the warning about their 10 minutes, but that's fine because I wanted to wrap it up in 10 minutes anyway.
Yep, we
But
will.
but but you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Lane, right? Because it is politics. But in essence, there's certain issues that go beyond politics. I have friends who are fall into that category. I
Yep, I
have
do too.
yeah, and I stand up for my friends. I don't cower, and I neither of us have. It's another thing, and I think you'll agree with me.
Yes.
Neither of us have human kids. A lot of our friends
No.
do. A lot of our friends do. But if
Right.
we did, and my kid was maybe, I don't know, somebody who is being blacklisted or talked negatively about from this
Right.
campaign, and I don't have to tell you the type of people that they've been talking negatively about, unless you've been hiding under a rock. I
Right.
I would be furious is an understatement. I don't know. I don't know how I would react. It's probably better than I don't know, man. I would just be like, I can't imagine parents who how they feel because now their kids have to live in a world where the head of the country is pushing a narrative of hate and
Yep.
just bigotry and hate. And that's really what it is. And I hate to sound cliched because it's that word's been thrown around so many years, bigotry.
Right.
But man, this guy is like to a T. If you looked up that word in the dictionary, there's his smiling orange head. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. What is your take on as we wrap it up, Mr. Lane? Do you have
Yes.
any final thoughts on the 4 years ahead and how we are going to deal with this goblin?
Well, here's my take on it, and like I said, and I know we have like 8 minutes left. I'll wrap
Hmm.
this up in like
Yeah.
three to 5 minutes.
Nice,
What I'm
nice,
gonna
nice
say,
tight 40 minutes. Yep.
but I have friends that are Republicans as well. They know who they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I just want in the United States of America where Republicans and Democrats can work together for the common good.
Yep.
That's really what I would like to see.
Hmm.
But I just don't see that with Trump at all, to be
No.
honest. I
No,
really do
no,
not.
no.
Because here's the thing that if you're going to unite this country, you're going
Yeah.
to have to take criticism from all angles.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a Republican,
He cannot take
Democrat,
criticism. He cannot take
independent.
criticism.
Exactly. When you have media that wants to confront him with tough questions, he can't answer the tough questions, and none of his constituents people can answer those tough questions, and that bothers me too.
Yeah.
And also, people want to see, oh, Trump won. Yeah, you got your wish.
Hmm.
Ask yourself this: two questions that I want to ask those people out there. One, what has he done to help you as an American? Number one. And number two, is he worth it to you?
Hmm.
Because I'll tell you right now, he has not done jack to me as an American.
Hmm.
Okay. And don't give me that stimulus BS because previous presidents have given us checks for
Yeah.
us to recover from the economy because that stimulus does not count here
Yeah.
in this conversation.
Any president would have done that.
That's what I'm trying to say. I have seen presidents as far as W. Bush that have given us stimulus checks. Okay, that does not count. I'm talking about, and number two, is he worth it? Is he really worth it to you? Because I would not be surprised if his approval rating is like under 40% for most of the run. And then when he's vulnerable, he's going to go out and go to a golf course and play some more golf. We already know how he does it. We have a legendary Sports
Yeah.
Illustrated writer by the name of Rick O'Reilly, I believe is his name. You
Yeah.
probably heard of him. He used to do Sports Center.
Right.
Point of it was he had a book. I think I never read it. It's called Commander in Chief. The
Hmm.
man cheats at golf. He's
Yeah.
he's a cheater, and to me, he's not worth it. I see right through him.
It's
This
unbelievable,
guy
Mr.
is
Lane.
going to
Yeah.
be is in his 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, and from what I've seen and from what I've learned with Donald J. Trump, he's not fit to be the president of this country.
He's
And,
not fit. He's
and
not fit for much.
no, no, I want to know out of these people,
Hmm.
why did you vote for Donald Trump? And I want to know in the next 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Let's say
No,
in
let's.
2026 or 2028.
Hmm.
Will you regret voting for him in that long run? I want to know these things. You're not going to call me names. You're not going to call me this. I want to have a good conversation with you.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good conversation. I don't want to hear, oh, Trump made America great. No, 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 no. No, stop. I want to know why in detail,
Hmm.
why you voted for Trump. That's where I'm at with this. This is what I wanted to get off my chest ever since like this morning.
Thank you, Mr.
I,
Lane.
I want to know why, and I'll put it back to Rue for final thoughts. Go ahead, sir. I'm done.
I would like to. Excellent final thoughts, Mr. Lane. Very passionate. Um, I would like to know, and again, everything with them is speaking in generalities. Nobody gives specifics other than we got to close up the border, make America great again. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What it make how? Just the price of eggs and bread? Because I know groceries are expensive now. Okay. Is that it? What else do you want to make? What else? Just the border and groceries? Is that it? Or what else do you want to do? Do you just want to like repress people? Do you want to go back to like the 50s when people didn't have rights and do you want like police officers to have immunity and just do whatever the hell they want? I don't know, man. It's very dirty. It's very carny. It's a grift. And I'm very disappointed. Not so much. And this is going to be a sound. I'm going to end on this. I'm going to end on this. I'm not so much disappointed in Donald Trump, Mr. Lane, because it's the one thing good you can say about Donald Trump is he's been consistent. He's been pretty consistent since 2015 when he came down the escalator. He's been the same asshole. But I'm very disappointed in the people of not only my state, but the states around the world that are complete, unadulterated, as Brian Pillman calls them, marks. And you are marks, and I'm sorry, but this is what I'm getting off my chest. You, you, you don't know what's in store. He's going to do nothing for you. And if you think he is, you have another thing coming. Uh, unless you're a rich billionaire, then I think you'll be cool, you know. But are you a rich billionaire, Mr. Lane?
No.
No, no, neither am I actually. No, no, not neither am I.
Ew.
That's why I have 40 minutes on here. I didn't feel like splurging on the unlimited plan. So anyway, it's been a great talk. We got about two and a half minutes left. Oh man, I wish we could have had a shout out to Mr. Z. I know we're gonna have Mr. Z on the show soon again. He couldn't make it with us, make it to this show. And Mr. Justin with his family on a trip to Wolf Mountain. Where did he go to Wolf Mountain or something? Went to see the wolves. He texted us. He said he went to Wolf Mountain or something.
So I heard earlier,
Yeah,
but
Wolf.
I
What
would
the
have loved
heck?
to have had those two gentlemen in the conversation,
Yeah,
obviously.
I think we had a
But
good. I
yeah,
think we had a good chat.
yes, we did.
If we do it again, I'd like to have those two, as you've seen on the show, the Horsemen
Right.
Hangout or 4 for 40. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up right now, and I hope everybody's doing well as it could be in a situation like this. But I hope you understand. You know, my original plan was to go to Philadelphia tonight to the NXT show, but I just didn't have it in me. I felt like talking to my good buddy Mr. Lane was the proper thing to do and get it off our chest. So
Absolutely. I'm glad we did this because, I'm very happy we had this flow of conversation because, I'm just not in no wrestling mood right now. I don't know if I'll
yeah,
watch wrestling for a while. It's just I need
yeah,
to soak this
sad.
whole situation of of
Yeah,
of society in right now. So
yeah.
and basically just remember my questions. Democrats will not go away regardless. Did the Republicans go away when Obama and Biden or Clinton were president, respectively? No.
Hmm.
And I don't expect Democrats to go away. I expect the two parties to, still exist
Yeah.
regardless. So In closing, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I'm Mr. Lane with Root TV. I'm out. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you.